Monster Mania is another fun one. One of my favorite horror conventions out of all of them is Horror Hound, just the one in Cincinnati. They have a couple. The others are just as fun, but there's just something about the one in Cincinnati. It falls towards the middle or end of March, so you're just coming out of winter, and that is the show. It's like spring's on its way. Just had a lot of fun. It's like, yay! And another one, just for the fact of that we do really well, it is a lot of fun, but the people who run it, they really treat me really nice, and it's the people who run NJ HorrorCon. It's a great show, and any new show, there's this whole bullshit politics with these conventions, especially in New Jersey, because you have Chiller, you have Monster Mania, and they feud with each other, and now NJ HorrorCon came out of the blue, so now they don't like them, and it's just like, guys, we're all trying to do the same thing. No one's hurting your numbers. If your numbers aren't hurting, just make it fun for the customer. Make it fun for the person who's walking to the door, and make it easier for the vendors. Because my whole thing is, I'll set up, you provide the people, I'll handle the rest. You know, that's just pretty much, that's what our booth is known as, the party booth. Not because we're just throwing party poppers and noise machines and dancing around. When you come in, we have to do something that's quasi-intimate. You have to sit down. You have to give us your personal information. We have to give a bite plate to you to put in your mouth. You're going to sit there for a few minutes like this. So we want to make you comfortable. We want to make you laugh. So that's why we act like jackasses, but at the same time, we're professional. I've lost count in the last 2 months alone. Square is an amazing thing because people can leave you feedback. And I'll just be sitting there making fangs. Ding, ding. Customers left you positive feedback. And I'm like, cool. I mean, it's like, these people were so professional. They took care of me. They do a great service. And I'm like sitting there like, hey, Matt, we're professional. Because almost every single person that comes in gets that joke of, we're going to put our tool in your mouth now. But it's like, you want something that could be considered or deemed uncomfortable, because that's why some people don't want to get the fangs, because they don't like anything that reminds you of the dentist. This is why we've never gotten Cassandra Peterson. Elvira, she hates the dentist. She does not want to have the bite plate in her mouth. 2 other people that would get the fangs from us, but they do not like the whole molding process, is Doug Bradley from, he's Pinhead from Hellraiser, and Tony Todd from Candyman. He just doesn't like having anything in his mouth. So, okay, I understand that. You know, so I went home and I
Do you have
crashed.
any particular customers that were really interesting, or some occasions that were kind of outrageous?
Yeah, let's get crazy. Tell us stories.
You don't have to give names.
Oh no. I never give names.
I got one.
So this girl carried. No, I'm not kidding.
I won't tell you.
All right,
name,
which
but
were
I
you?
will
Because I've been
point to the guy.
I've been rattling off.
I was thinking about, I won't say the person's name, but the one from NJ HorrorCon that kept on coming. We had to get her to come back and back and back to do the impressions of her mouth. The 70s.
I hate that stupid bitch.
No.
Oh my God. I'm sorry because when you make something and you ever do something that you know how to do, and someone comes along and you know they're doing something wrong, but at the point and the amount of times they've done it wrong, they're starting to make you question, am I doing something wrong? What am I? That's why I hate this person. It's not a personal thing, like personality-wise, but it's just like, oh my God. I can give you examples because a lot of the customers, I'm not on a first name basis with, so I couldn't tell you their names. But all right, I have a story. But one of my favorites is like girls will come in, and this is back when Karina was working with me. It's like, Kit, you should get me a discount. And this is when I lose my shit in my head, but then the mischievous side of me takes over and goes, so we can have fun with this. He goes, hey, honey, see that beautiful girl sitting in the corner of the booth? My booth manager? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, it's my girlfriend. bitch, you ain't that cute. And then I walk away. Oh, so we were at a show. This is horrible. We were at a show, Rhode Island Comic Con, and this guy comes up to the booth, and he's talking, and he takes up 30 to 40 minutes of my time. And in this line of work, time is money. So I have two girls working with me who've never worked with me before. Karina's still at the hotel because she stayed there because she got sick. We said, stay there because if you're sick, we can't bring anyone ill to the booth. His two towering friends are blocking the entrance to the booth. But you've got the fish on the line, so you can't say, hold on one second, guys, could you not say... And then that person loses interest. Because now, oh, you're reprimanding my friends? This guy had a very deep voice, but not deep, more like, breathy deep. So finally he sits down, and I've explained everything to him. I'm doing 3 jobs, I'm managing the booth, I'm taking the impressions, and I'm making the fangs. Not to mention I have to micromanage the 2 girls that are working for, and they're trying their best, trying to reach around the 2 guys that are blocking the entrance. They didn't know they had the authority, guys, you can wait, but wait here or here, don't block the entrance to the booth. So he sits down, I hand him the computer, I'm like, now make sure you put your full name and your address and everything, and your phone number. If I can get them done today, I'll text you. If not, first thing tomorrow. And he goes, I don't get them right now. I'm also not exaggerating his voice. If you doubt me, oh, Karina wasn't there. Shit. No one lives close, but I can make a phone call to people who bared witness to this. And I'm like, no, it's not. Here are your fangs. I'm like, no, I just told you what I had to do. And he goes, oh, so I can't get them right now? And I'm like, no. And he goes, this is where something broke off. You okay?
Keep going. It's the impression.
Oh,
it's getting to me.
He was shocked.
So, yeah, I don't want to do the impression, but literally, I got to the point where I got sick of telling this story. So, this is where something broke off because I don't get them right now, and he does this. But I'm this today. You remember what I told you? What he looked like from the neck down, right? I'm like, I'm this, that. I'm like, I don't care if you're Jesus today. You're not any more important than any other customer I have. I have a rush order fee that will bump you up. He didn't want to have nothing to do with that. Because if it can't be, ta-da, he didn't want, I'm like, so he just goes, oh, okay, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, sitting, I'm like, don't go diva with me. Because it's not going to end well for you. So, but I have this maneuver that allows me to show you I am furious with you, but I'm maintaining composure and I'm maintaining professionalism. So I'm just like, okay. And he gets up and I just start cleaning everything up. I'm like, just stay focused. Do not look at him. Do not look at him. I feel like 5 minutes have gone by while I'm straightening up the whole table. And I thought I was mumbling it under my breath. Apparently it came out very audible. I'm like, waste my fucking time. I'm thinking 5 minutes are gone by and he's long gone. No. Right in front of me. I'm like, ooh. And he just looks at me and goes, I didn't realize there's a wait. And I'm like, why are you putting your hand like this? What the hell? So at this point, I look at him and whatever broke off left a gaping hole where all the ooze just started seeping out. So the angel on my shoulder looks away. The moron in the back of my head is laughing, and the devil just whispers in my ear, he already knows you're an asshole. Own it. So I put my fists on the table. I'm like, you're number 7. What the fuck do you think? And he's like, huh? And walked away. And I'm like, motherfucker. I was so mad. 5 minutes later, my friend comes walking over. She goes, you were really rude to those 3 gay guys I sent over to your booth. I'm like, what 3 gay guys? She goes, oh, come on. I'm like, I assume nothing. Because I got yelled at by a guy over 12 years ago for assuming he was straight. That was when I realized we don't assume jack shit anymore. Never again. The thing is, 45 minutes after this, I'm like, I gotta pee. Oh, God. I have to walk halfway across the convention center. I don't want to run into them. So I'm walking around like this. And the stupidest part is I'm like, oh, I made it to the bathroom. Fuck, they're men. They might be in there. So I come marching into the men's room like this. And everyone peeing just stops and looking back like, what the fuck is this guy doing? I'm like, I just peed and went about my day. So yeah, so that's the kind of shit you can encounter. That is the one and only time I lost my temper with a customer at the booth, which I think is pretty good. I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of how I reacted. Honestly, if Karina was there, like when he did this, I am this today. She would have been like, go. Just go, I'll handle this. She would have sent me out of the booth. The other girls never worked with me before, so they didn't know how to handle the situation. I was under a lot of stress. He was an asshole. I mean, if I ran into him, I'd apologize for being an asshole, but I was like, but you got what you deserved.
How long is each show?
Your average show on a Friday will start anywhere from 3 to 5 and go to 10 or 11. Saturday's usually a long day. It's 9 for VIP, 10 to 7, sometimes 10 to 8. And Sundays are 9, 10 to 4 or 5. The show we're doing this weekend is the endurance run because it opens at... We'll have at least a 5-hour setup tomorrow. And then Friday we open from 2 to midnight. Go to my friend's house who lives half an hour away, who's letting us crash there. Then get up at like 9, 10 o'clock, be back there at 11, and it's 11 to midnight on Saturday. Then it's 11 or 12 to 8 o'clock on Sunday. So on Monday, I'm not getting out of bed.
Wow.
How many weekends a year do you do?
I averaged last year 36, 37 conventions.
And they're all 3 days, 2 days?
Some are 2 days, some are 3. MegaCon and New York Comic Con are 4-day conventions, and Wizard World, Philadelphia are 4 days. And that's where we're going right now. We're not overly fond of the staff of the Philadelphia Convention Center. I'm not going to tell you why, because it's not. It's just a topic I don't want to touch.
A story for later.
Yeah, off camera.
So what all the conventions, all the kind of freaky stuff that goes on there, that's the craziest story. The guy with the dust in his face.
Yeah, that's the craziest story that I've lost my temper. Exotica, I had a woman come in my booth because Exotica closes at 7 on Saturdays, but you stay open like till 7:30, 8 o'clock because people are still clearing out and you can get that last minute sale. So I had this drunk woman walk in, grab one of my bears. It's $100. Goes, you want to give this to me for $50? I'm like, no, I don't. You can get the hell out of my booth now. And I turned to her husband. I'm like, you need to get her out of here. And he goes, I'm sorry. He grabs her, just walks out of the booth. And I'm like, I am in no mood for drunk people right now. But I could have said anything to her. She wouldn't have remembered. God. I guess it's a good thing that I can't think of any really crazy or bad stories.
I thought you would have more freaky stuff happening.
Oh, freaky. You wouldn't believe some of the things people have offered for fangs.
Well, maybe you could name
Not so much nowadays, because, you spend 4 years with one person. I mean, so many people thought me and Karina were married. And some people apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry for thinking that. I'm like,
why would you apologize?
yeah, why would you apologize? Honestly, we didn't mind being accused of being married. We hated the, when are you guys getting married? When are you guys going to have kids? We're not having kids. I live on the second floor for a reason. I'll let that joke sink in. But like before Karina and when I was doing shows when I was single, I've had boyfriends and husbands offer their wives for fangs. Right? Right? Yeah, right? I'm like...
I guess they're really not in love, huh?
Yeah, well, he also did... One of the guys didn't appreciate my response. I'm like, your wife's only worth $60.
Well,
Because he wanted the basic fangs. He goes, you can have my wife for tonight.
That's horrible. Well, the other thing, if you turn it down, that's not even then you're offending the person.
Yeah.
You go like, that's okay.
No. There's a way to save yourself like that. It's easier when you have a girlfriend. But it's like, as beautiful as your wife is, or if the woman's just offering herself, this doesn't happen. This was back in the early days, and I don't think these people were serious. But just to cover my eyes, as beautiful as you are, unfortunately, whatever you can physically offer me cannot pay my bills. I need your money more than I need your body. So there, I'm not insulting them, but people are weird.
Have you worried that anyone would do dangerous things
Absolutely.
with your fangs?
We used to have people sign a waiver. Nowadays, it's just nowadays it's a verbal contract. So basically, after you purchase the fangs, whatever you do after you leave my booth with the fangs is on you. I am not responsible for any trouble you get yourself into. So I also have people who get them for young kids. Now, there are ways to make them safer. I don't make them sharp for the kids. I make the kid promise mom and dad in front of me, and promise me you're not going to bite anyone. You're not going to bite your teachers. You're not going to start fights with your friends or bite your friend. They're like, no, you're going to be responsible. Yeah, okay. So I connect them behind the teeth with a bridge. So this way, if they do pop out and you're talking, it'll be and you can just lean forward. As where I've had people, I've never seen this happen. I've had 2 people swallow fangs. Alcohol was involved. They were very drunk. They don't remember them. Someone told them they swallowed them. They're not poisonous once they're solidified.
Remember the next day.
Yeah. No, actually, it'll pass right through.
I know it will, but it's sharp.
Well, yeah. No one's ever complained.
I know, but still, I come up with that saying you don't want to swallow it just in case, because you
don't want to pierce your butthole.
What colitis feels like?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh no. But the funny thing, a little scientific fact about the fangs: the powder and the stuff that the alike fluid that smells like the nail salon. Both of those by themselves, if ingested, are highly poisonous. Solidified, harmless. So, but I had one guy who was working with me who claims he just randomly swallowed a fang. I just didn't want to argue with him, but I'm like, no, I think you've been drinking too much behind the booth. You need to stop and wasting my materials, because now I've got to make you another pair of fangs.
That only happened once with me. I'm joking.
Mostly I'm concerned about piercing my tongue.
Never.
Occasionally with them.
No one has ever...
I've never bitten my tongue ever.
No one's ever bitten their tongue. No one's ever pierced their lip. One girl who got a top and bottom set from me, who very sadly is no longer with us. She came to my house and got a single top, single bottom canines, and she's sitting here like this. I'm like, well, close your mouth, and she does this, and the fangs are on the outside. I'm like, no, close your fangs inside. She just does it. So the tip of the fang just goes right across her lip, and I'm like, and just the slightest little puncture, she bled like a sieve, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, she wasn't mad, she wasn't upset. I got her ice, put it on a paper towel, she held it, and it stopped within like a minute and a half. But I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh my God, this girl's crazy. And then I found out later, no, she's not crazy. She's under the influence of many narcotics. So it's an interesting world, to say the least.
Right now, you make all the fangs.
Yes.
Do you see a point where you get so busy you'd have to have someone else?
It's becoming potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just finding someone that I trust enough, and that will have to be like, there will have to be a lawyer involved as far as like no competition clause. I try to be fair and honest, and as profitable with anyone who helps or works with us. But I mean, I make decent money doing this, but the problem is I also spend decent money. So you could say like, all right, so I averaged 36 shows last year. So if some shows could be $350 for a table, some shows could be $1,500. So you average the price out, each show is $1,000. You tally that up, and when I did that, I almost threw up. So I'm like, that's $36,000. I can pay my truck off with that.
Business.
Yeah, I know, right? But that's also like going to work. My old job, which sucked, but going to work, you didn't pay money. Like, I could put out $1,000 for a show, go there and only make $1,000.
But
I haven't lost money, but I also haven't made money. So.
But that's the thing about working for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Taking a chance.
Yeah.
Everything.
I thought it would have solved all my problems, but working for myself, my boss is still an asshole.
Yes, he is.
Shut up, you're fired.
I get to go home tonight. Yes. No.
Wow.
Well,
Good luck Ubering.
The advantage is you can call your boss an asshole. And not
Oh, yeah.
to.
He's called me an asshole. Hey, listen, if I'm being an asshole, I mean, I don't mind people putting me in check. I mean, I try not to ever have to be put in check. Like, I've said something to someone, and then I'm like, I don't like the way it sounds. I want to apologize, and I also want to say thank you for helping me. Then 9 times, I would say 8 to 9 times out of 10, when I turn around and I do that, they're like, no, you're fine. I'm like, oh wow, I'm just being overly cautious. And I'm like, I don't want to lose that. You know, it's the same feeling like I get when you meet these celebrities and we make fangs for them. Like the Soska twins, they are. I'm not saying they're friends of mine that like we party with them. Like they come over my house, I go over their house. Although that option was talked about if they ever wanted to take a weekend and go to New York. But we met them. I met them in 2014 for the first time, and they were one of the celebrities I talked about that knew who I was before I met them. And we made a pair of fangs for them, and they are 2 of the sweetest women you could ever meet, and they love their fans. And every time I meet them and talk to them, it's, I would say, almost as energetic and amazing as the first time, because that's just how they are with people, and I don't ever want to lose that feeling. Like when I meet someone new, or like I've met Derek Mears and Kane Hodder 153 times, but every time I meet them, it's like, you know, it still feels cool, you know. But now my relationship with Kane Hodder has evolved, because now I'm playing pranks on him. Days of the Dead.
Is that safe?
Yeah. He touches me, I got a lawyer. He wouldn't hurt me. No, silly pranks, nothing stupid. Like, I'm not gonna have him walk through a door and have a bucket of paint fall on him. I'm not that stupid. No, innocent jokes that when he figures it out, he's gonna laugh. So he has a good sense of humor. He loves his fans. He has his own entourage. And I noticed that Days of the Dead, he had a minion fart gun on his table. So I know everyone that's at his table. So I go up to his hand, and I'm like, I hand her this little black box, and I say, put this next to his fart gun. She goes, I'm like, all right, now, he's not looking. So she puts it down, and it's a fart machine. It's got all these different fart noises, and it's got a remote control. So I'm sitting there, and I'm pressing, and all of a sudden you see him like, it's like, was that this? And he's talking to his buddy Steve. He goes, yeah. And he goes, but I didn't touch it. And he picks the thing up. Everyone's laughing. And he thought it was hilarious. The last thing, because my friend's standing off the side recording, the last thing in the video is like, turn that fucking thing off.
So when you go to set up, and so there are all these people there before the door opens, and
Yeah.
the customers come in and the fans come in. anything interesting happening with all these people who are well known for whatever they do in the area that they're known for? Like any kind of interesting interaction? Everybody's just doing their thing and setting up their stuff. And do you have enough time to do anything?
Oh yeah, no. Absolutely. We Nicholas Vince, who plays the Chatterer in Hellraiser. He's one of the people that he likes to walk around. They all of them like to walk around the show floor. Nicholas Vince, Simon, who was Butterball in Hellraiser, Kane Hodder will do it. Derek Mears will walk around. Bill Moseley, and Matt was having some fun with Bill Moseley at Days of the Dead, because he walked by and he set the fart machine off, and Bill's like, and just turned around. I was like, and I forgot what he said to you, but they had a quick little conversation when we were at the Chicago.
We're talking about the movie. And into a movie,
yeah, because he was looking at the Godzilla toys. Now, are you guys wrestling fans at all?
Well, I used to watch it.
Do you remember the name? Do you remember the girl Trish Stratus?
I know. Yeah, I know who she is, but I'm talking. I used to watch stuff when I was like.
Oh yeah, like Days of Hogan.
Yes.
Yep.
Macho Man Randy
Yeah.
Savage.
Oh man.
What you gonna do when Hulkamania comes for you, brother?
Well, we found out two things out in Chicago Days of the Dead, that Trish Stratus is a huge Godzilla fan.
Yes.
And so is the actor whose name slips my mind, but he played the Creeper in Jeepers Creepers. And it was very amusing. I can't remember his name. We got to meet the he played Roddy Largo in Repo the Genetic Opera. He was Eddie Valentine in The Rocketeer. He's actually
the main boss from Goodfellas.
Yeah, he was big Italian guy. You know what I can't remember his name. Paul something.
Paul Servini.
Paul Servini. Yep. We went up to his table and we were talking to him, and my friend and I were telling us, we were listening to Repo on the way out here, and he sang one line. He was like, we got all giddy, and I'm like, I gotta tell you, I've seen almost every movie you've been in, and one of my favorite lines out of all the lines you've ever delivered was when you got in that Nazi's face in The Rocketeer, and when you found out you were working for Nazis, you turned around and was like, I may not make an honest buck. And he says it with me, and he goes, but I'm 100% American. And he said it with me, and I just lost my shit. I'm like, because I walked away, and I'm like, I'm 5 years old again. Yay, that was awesome. So it's like little moments like that just make it worth it. Because, I mean, when we went to New Orleans, we set up, our booth was like not even 100 feet away from Jason Momoa.
He's doing conventions too.
Oh, really? It's kind of hard to find a Comic-Con that he's not at lately.
What does he do, Conan? Or what is he?
He's Aquaman.
No, I know now. But
when we were there, he was Aquaman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, no, he's
Game
known
of
mostly for Aquaman and Game of Thrones.
Okay, because I thought maybe because back in he did that remake of Conan.
Yeah,
right?
people don't talk about it.
Yeah, but
it wasn't
good,
bad.
but
Honestly, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
No.
It's not Arnold.
No.
No one's Arnold.
That's very but I mean that was just a CGI mess. But I ran over to the iZombie people, and I met Rose McCleve, who plays Liv on the show, and she was interested, and she goes, "Okay, I'll come over." And I'm like, "All right." And I meet Raul, and then I meet Allie, and she goes, "All right, well, let's do it right now." And I'm like, "Really?" She goes, "Would you mind making them for my sister?" And I'm like, "Not a problem." So the two of them come over with me, and we get pictures with them in the booth, and those are the pictures that they start tagging me in social media. And then 20, 30 minutes after they walked away, I see Rose coming over, and I tell him, I'm like, I know they came over, but I'm like, if Rose comes over, I'm going to shit my spleen. I see her coming, I lean in his ear, I'm like, dude, he's like, what? I'm like, I just shit my spleen. And he looks up because he knows what's coming. And she sits down, and they are the loveliest people. I mean, as you've heard us talk, like, we meet these actors and actresses all the time, but the Eyes on people, like, they left, my knees were shaking, because it was just, I'm like, is this really happening? iZombie, one of my favorite shows, and 3 of the main characters were just in my booth. I'm like, I actually remember watching the Goldbergs at your show, at your house.
Yeah.
And then the girl that was the youngest son's girlfriend. I guess?
No, the middle child. Barry's
okay.
new wife now.
And and making fangs for her, and now she's like the main character on a new show. I'm like,
Cool.
Yeah.
It's funny because me and her were talking about that booth because I heard inside information about that. And I said it, and she goes, "Oh, so you know?" I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Shh." And I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "So I'm right?" She goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay."
That's
Just
a pretty
running out.
impressive score for her.
Yeah. Well, good for her. I mean,
Yeah.
it's cute. I mean, would it have been a show I would have gone out of my way to watch? No, but because I made fangs for her, and since she was just an absolute sweetheart and so nice to us, I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And I only saw the first episode, and then I got busy again. It's so hard. I was like, when it comes on Netflix, I'll watch it on Netflix.
So what do you do? Load up your truck? You have a trailer? Or how do you carry on?
The booth that you've seen at the shows and in pictures, that all fits in the back of my truck.
Okay.
You are in the presence of the world champion of Tetris in real life. And the funny thing is,
So what is Karina send a roof?
oh no, you can fit 4 people in the truck. It's just the back. Now here's the funny thing is, when we were loading up at the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention a year ago, as I'm fitting everything into the back of the truck, some guy's got his big subwoofer and the back of his car lifted up, and they're playing the theme to Tetris. And I'm sitting here, I'm laughing. I dropped a whole bunch of shit, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I can't stop laughing." They're like, "Why?" I'm like, "Well, come here," and show them back of my truck. I'm like, "See this?" She goes, "This is like Tetris." I'm like, "Now you get why I'm laughing?" They're like, "Oh yeah." And I'm like, that took a while for that to sink in. I'm like, "Oh yeah, now I know why." They were very high.
So what's your website?
No, I don't have a functional website yet, unfortunately.
How can people find out where you're going to be if anyone wants
Horror
to
Show
get
Jack Fangsmith on Facebook, Horror Show Jack on Twitter, Horror Show Jack on Instagram, Horror Show Jack on Vero, Horror Show Jack on Tumblr. I still haven't figured out how the hell to use Tumblr. I don't even know what the hell Tumblr is. I just, like, all the social medias that are out there, I just went out and got my name in there so no one else could get my name first. I don't want to be Horror Show Jack 1 _.
Now, do you at this point do you have to advertise, or people just know they're going to find?
Oh no, I advertise like crazy.
You do?
Yeah, since New Orleans, every morning is an hour to an hour and a half answering things on social media and just posting ads and stuff, and things have been going really well. It's just Facebook is it's funny. I'll put an ad, and like 10 to 20 people will like it, but X amount of people will see it. But then I post a picture of someone wearing fangs or a picture from a show, and like a couple hundred people like it. So I'm like, all right, as long as people are looking at the page, they know where to find me.
Well, that's probably your best endorsement. Is all the people who are there, all the actors and people that have a fan base. If they see they're doing it, that probably does it better for you.
It's just weird to call it a fan base or even a following. It's just,
Customers.
Extended family. People come because this is one thing that really got me. I didn't get to make fangs for Alex Winters, who was Marco in Lost Boys, and he was Ted and Bill in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So I have this picture of everyone in the Lost Boys, and I've had almost everyone sign it. And I met him at a show in Massachusetts, and then a month later I met him at a show in Ohio, and I had him sign it, and I'm like, what do I owe you? And he just slides the picture over to me, winks at me, goes, "You're in the club." And I'm like, I was like, oh my god, oh! That was in 2010. So I was still like 3 years into like the celebrity convention circuit, because I had never I started vending in those late 2008, early 2009, and so it's a decade of decadence, I guess.
So you doing this full time for about 10 years?
No, I've been doing this full time for 3 years. I started October 2015 because my old job said, you're taking too much time off. I'm like, well, you laid me off for a grand total of 3 months this year, and I got to pay my bills, so I got to make money. And they said, if you don't show up to work on Monday, you don't have a job. So I'm like, So I went on my phone and I called my bank statements and checked everything, and I'm just like, it's a pretty big decision. I need to ask someone's opinion, because I asked Karina's opinion. She's like, I think you can do it. I'm like, all right, that's one positive. I'm like, so I called mom and dad, because my parents are smart. I trust their guidance, and they're like, okay, what you're doing right now, I was averaging 1 show every other month and 2 shows every other month. So they're like, you can maintain it. So I'm like, so if I just add on, we'll be fine. Yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. I know exactly what my resignation letter is going to say. They're like, do you really want to do that? I'm like, they're not going to give me a reference. So, and I've covered it if I ever needed a reference. And this is how I knew I was making the right decision, because my parents are wonderful people. But when you tell my parents what you're going to do, and they agree with this, you know you're making the right decision. Because my resignation letter was just 2 words in big red letters.
I can guess.
Fuck you. Oh, they were horrible. I mean, there were 2 good things out of the 7.5 years with that company: the free healthcare, the free health insurance.
You worked for it.
No, the company paid for it. Actually,
Yeah, but you worked for it.
Well, yeah, but
That's
still, I mean, it wasn't taken out of your paycheck. That's what it was like. And meeting Karina, that was it. 7.5 years, and
I thought you met in Miami and you were there with the fishing net waiting for.
that's right. You did hear that joke. Wow, she hates that joke. Because she's like, I caught you. I'm like, yeah, that is true.
Well, it sounds better.
Oh, absolutely. It was hilarious.
Too sad, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a very rewarding job, because I mean, how many jobs out there do you hear the words thank you?
Well, you're working pretty close with people.
Yeah, but I mean, I am working with the general public,
providing a service, but
Yeah.
there's a bad thing with that too. Obviously,
Oh,
dealing
yeah.
with public, good and bad.
Yeah, well, I mean,
So-
the big problem that you run into in this line of work is a lot of people feel they're entitled, and there's no
Might be
entitlement.
generational. That.
Yeah, well,
Every
there's no
office-
there's no entitlement in my booth. I treat everyone with the same equality, because anyone that walks into my booth is a potential sale. Anyone that walks near my booth, because I've cracked a joke and someone just turned around and looked at my booth and go, and then came in. I'm like, how did you not see that? Because people are like, oh.
Well, what do you think? I mean, it's pretty obvious what you do. It's not,
Yeah, well, I mean,
it's not hidden.
that is one of the biggest things up until recently. In like the last 2 years, this question went away. I have an 8-foot sign that says "Customized Fangs." The biggest word on the goddamn sign is fangs, and people come in and go, "So what do you guys do?" And I look. The best one. This was in 2009. This woman came up to my booth and goes, "So what do you guys do?" And I'm like, "I sell car insurance." She goes, "Oh, well, I don't need that." And she walked away, and everyone looked at me. I'm like, if she's that fucking stupid, I don't need her money. I don't want her business. I just couldn't believe she actually walked away. And then some people walk up. If someone randomly says now, it's like, "So what do you guys do here?" And I'm like, sometimes I'll say I'm baking cakes, or I'll sit in my corner. I'll tell him I'm making meth. I try not to use that one very often because I'm afraid I'll actually have a meth addict at my booth and they'll jump the table.
Hunting elephants is always a fun one.
Hunting-
Use that line before. What do you guys do? Hunting elephants, huh?
What are
You're
some,
looking
what
at
are
me
some
like-
of your favorite stories about working with it? Because you've had some interesting experiences.
Well, you already spoke so much. I don't know if you want to
Yeah, do you want to give him a platform?
Thank you, boss. No. Oh my God, there's been a few people. We had this. What was the one girl?
That narrows it down.
I already heard about Bonnie Rotten.
No, yeah, you already heard the whole. We're not going to get into the whole body.
You know what he likes to watch? Pretty Comic Con.
Cartoons.
Yeah, cartoons.
That's what you show some of the...
Oh yeah. These are our Fang menus and prices. This is. These are our most common sellers. Are
you can point him, but I'll just mention so you.
Oh, okay.
So
the canines and subtles and felines are our top 3 single sets, quickly followed by the True Bloods. Basic doubles and subtle doubles are very popular. Underworlds and Lost Boys have been very popular over the last couple of years, and Bloodlusts and the Demon doubles are very popular with the ladies. The felines are also very popular with the ladies.
So your price is just, if people can't see it, if it's too far, it's between 60 for singles and up to 200 for the priciest top bottom double or something like that, right?
Yeah, double top, double bottom is 200.
Right. But I see most of your prices are between 60 and 100, so that's more than affordable.
Oh yeah, but then you get into
Really fancy stuff.
more fancier, just extendeds and all the different different variables of fangs, and then you get into the one of my sets, a classic. Is that Salem's Lot?
That's like a Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm. That's Nosferatu. That's Salem's Lot.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And then, fortunately, I found this because I drop everything. Can you hold that? Thank you.
I can't hold it.
They're the orc tusks I was telling you guys about.
Oh, well, look at that.
And I know, and they're the female orc tusks. Then we have silver, and a lot of these were either my own design or people just ask. This guy comes to me and goes, "I'm cosplaying the brain, Pinky from Pinky and the Brain." I'm like, all right. And it's a visual issue that I'm not good with Photoshop, but these are actually equal in size. But you realize this one's got a shadow on it, this one doesn't, and
It looks like it's bigger.
Yeah, but they're literally both the same. So.
And the bunny teeth.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Bunny and Squirrel Girl.
You take pictures of all the customers?
Oh yeah, we try to get a picture of everyone, but sometimes that's why they're not always 100% perfect, because it's a very fast-paced environment. So.
Right. So what should we do for closing? Anything that we forgot to mention? Or?
Oh, would you make fangs for my pet?
No.
Okay. I don't have a pet, but I just want to ask for all the people that would come up and ask you.
You're making a joke, but that's actually something that people have seriously come up and asked. It's like, would you make fangs for my dog? Would you make fangs for my cat? I'm like, well, first of all, why doesn't your cat have fangs? And second of all, if you can get them to sit still while I take the impression, we're good.
Even for a cleaning, you have to knock them out and put them under anesthesia. I don't think they're going to sit there for fangs.
No, I don't make fangs for animals.
Infants?
No.
Okay.
Although I was thinking about a line of Harsho Jack Binkies.
Oh, that would be
the fangs on the.
That would be hilarious.
That would be cool.
I bet you that would sell.
Oh yeah. I just gotta order.
No one steal that idea. Pitch Jacks.
I'm sure it's already been done.
Well, possibly. Well, thank you very much,
guys. Thank you very much for having us.
An hour plus with us, and sharing this
was
stories.
fun.
Thank you very much. All right. Till next time.
Till next time.
Next time. Questionable personalities.